Allow me to reintroduce myself. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name.
Hey guys, what it do? It's your girl, the Kool Kydd here, hitting you with another vlog. But before we get into this video, I do want to apologize for those who subscribed that I haven't put out a video in 2 weeks. It's just that my husband and I made a video, and when we went to go edit the video, it deleted. So we're pretty much working on trying to find a new editing app or software that doesn't delete our shit. Excuse my language. But I felt that I should put out a video pretty much apologizing to you guys about that, letting you guys know what's up. And also there's some things that I kind of want to get off my chest about something that I experienced. But before we get into that, let's make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with every and anyone, letting them know what your girl is doing over here on her channel. So right now, pretty much came outside to take a walk. I have an interview tomorrow, and I'm still fairly new to living in Jersey, so I don't know quite how many of the bus works. Like, I pretty much know how to get home. Sadly, I have to Google everything, but that's what New Yorkers do. So they're pretty much what I want to talk about today, and also what I want to shed a light on about what I've experienced in my life, so you guys could kind of get to know me a little bit more. So yesterday I put up a Facebook post. Pretty much the Facebook post states that nothing I hate more than when you apply for a job, they call you and then they try to downplay your accomplishments. Let me try to elaborate on what I mean. So I have been unemployed for 6 months now. Excuse me. For 6 months now, and it's very frustrating, annoying, upsetting to me that I've been unemployed for this long, and it's not like I'm just sitting home doing nothing and not applying for jobs. I am. My husband is. In the course of these 6 months, I probably put out more than 200 applications. And people called me back. I had interviews, and I'm much of a person who I pick up on the vibes that you give. I could pretty much sense it, feel it. I pretty much know my atmosphere. I've been doing hospitality for only 3 months, but as far as customer service goes, I've been doing it for 8 years. So you tend to become not an expert, but someone who picks up on energies. So yesterday I had pretty much a short phone interview. I applied for this job about 3 days ago. It's a hotel. Don't really want to put any names out, don't want to get sued, but it's a 5-star property in New York. And sorry guys, my earbud keeps falling out. It's a 5-star property in New York, and sorry if I'm not looking at you guys too much. I'm crossing the street and crossing back and being all stupid, forgive me, but pretty much it's a 5-star property in New York. And I spoke with the talent manager, I guess a hiring manager, but nowadays they call it the talent manager. And pretty much the talent manager asked me some questions about my job history.
$58.
My job history. So, sorry you hear this guy in the background is kind of upset that he's getting a ticket. asked me about my job history. So, like I said before, I have been doing hospitality for 3 years now. I have been doing customer service for 8 years. In the course of my 8 years of working, I have been unemployed once before, and it was like for probably 2 months. It wasn't long at all. But this time, and mind you, at that time I was less experienced. Like, the only experience I had was doing summer youth. So in the course of 8 years, I have obtained 4 managerial positions in my life. 4 in the course of 8 years, and that's 4 different companies. So now you're probably thinking to yourself, I see why she's frustrated. I have always worked and went to school full time, and when I tell you I bust my ass, especially bust my ass my last semester in college, to the point where I almost broke down and was ready to quit, but I was just at the finish line. I just couldn't. But now, to apply to jobs after accomplishing so much in 8 years, and them trying to tell you that, oh well, we need for you to have luxury property experience, and because you don't have that experience, it's best that you apply to places that fit the experience you have. And that really hurts, a lot. When I say that really hurts, is because I tell you that during my journey of getting into hotels was so hard. I've been applying to luxury properties since I was about 18. I'm 24 of age now. So that's been roughly 5 years? Roughly 5 years. So the first property that I worked at was all the properties I worked at were boutique hotels. But the first property I worked at was very small. It was a hotel with 200 rooms. We only sold 175 rooms because we had tenants. And I worked at the front desk for about 6.5 months, and then I got promoted to housekeeping supervisor, which I'm still to this day very grateful for. With that promotion has brought me a lot of opportunities and has allowed me to grow and learn more about what is it that I like and don't like about doing that particular job. But I stayed at that hotel for about a little over a year. As soon as I finished college, someone reached out to me about a job opportunity at a Marriott property, and it was to be a housekeeping supervisor as well, which I didn't mind because I've only was a housekeeping supervisor for a year. So I was very grateful for that. So that property that I went to was 612 rooms. So you see that big jump? I went from a 200 room property to a 612 room. And now my staff increased tremendously. I had a staff about, I think 14 employees, maybe less than that, to a staff of roughly 50 employees. And on a day-to-day, I probably interacted with about, let's say 10, because in that hotel we had sections. So everyone had their own section, and you pretty much were responsible for your section that you had. Then I stayed there for a year. and I found out about property that I was at from a friend. And I interviewed, got the job, and now that property that I got to was 710 rooms. So it was a little bit more than what I was doing before. Now it's 710 rooms, but now what makes it more advanced was the simple fact that it had 45 apartment rentals. So I had to figure out how to only get used to these apartment rentals and get used to having to do regular rooms as well, because I never did apartment rentals. And there I had a staff of about 74 employees. So now you see my staff increased. So my staff increased, had more employees, had more rooms to manage, and now on a day-to-day basis, the amount of people I interacted went up. So these old guys. So the amount of employees that I had went up as well. So the amount of employees I interacted on a day-to-day basis was about 34 employees. We didn't do sections there, which was the absolute worst. So I had to deal with about 34 employees, which were housekeepers only, and then plus a good 10 housemen, whoever were on duty. So each job that I've had typically has grown as far as quality, as far as what I had to do to pretty much get my name out and pretty much prove myself. So to hear someone tell you that the experience that you have is not qualifying enough for a luxury property is quite disappointing, because the way I see it is that if you're not willing to give me the experience and your excuse is, well, you don't have the experience of a luxury property, and we're gonna connect you to another hotel that has the experience that you have, or connect you to a hotel that is relatable to what you have already done, it's kind of like a slap in the face, especially if you asked me, why is it you want to leave your previous property, or why is it that you left your previous property? And my answer is that I have been at boutique hotels since I've started this industry, and I honestly want to grow and learn more about hospitality and what hospitality has to offer. And getting into a luxury property can not only teach you, but show you things that you haven't learned already, and give you different experiences that can help you grow as a person. And then they hit you with the, I'm not saying that you're not qualified for a luxury property, but the standards are very high, and I feel that it's best that I connect you with a property that you're more relatable to. So you're pretty much telling me I'm not good enough. That's exactly what you're telling me, but in a much more professional way. And I'm not going to be rude. I'm not going to deny the opportunity to get my foot into the door of a more high-end property than what I'm used to. But don't downplay me. don't downplay what I had to go through to get where I am, what I experienced, the hard work that I had to put in to get where I am. And regardless of every property that I've done was just a year, but every property that I went to was also a level up from what I was doing before. Please show the recognition that you saw that I worked hard. Like, please show that, because it's hard to be in the hospitality industry. Like, it's so hard. It's so hard to get your name out there. It's so hard to get recognized. And it's to the point where I'm not going to say I want to give up on doing hotels, but I kind of just want to take a break from it and see what else is out there, because it's just so degrading to hear someone say something like that to you. And then there's people who you know that would ask you stupid questions like, why haven't you applied to a luxury property, or why do you keep applying to boutique properties, and why this and why that, and not know this is what they tell you when you have these interviews. So if you're willing to tell me that and you're just only one luxury property, then that means if I apply to another luxury property, they're going to tell me the same thing. They're definitely going to tell me the same thing. So who am I to keep being disappointed by what you're telling me? I'm not. I've been there where I have applied to like 1 million Marriotts, and at this point I'm ready to give up. Like, I'm ready to give up, because you can't tell someone that they don't have the experience that you're looking for if you're not willing to give them a chance. That's how I look at it. I'm very much a type of person who feels that in order for someone to grow and to get the experience that they need, you need to give them a chance. You need to see if they're going to disappoint you, if they're going to surprise you, because you don't know what that person has to offer. Yes, their resume may look sketchy, and 9 out of 10, their resume looks sketchy, but they're an amazing employee. And I have been in that position where I have worked with people and thought to myself, like, oh my God, they're not going to last. And come to find out that they're amazing people to work with. So my thing is to you, and the message that I'm trying to give today is pretty much that don't be discouraged. Everything happens on its own time. What's for you is definitely for you. And it may not be what you want at the moment, and I'm not saying that you should settle, but know your worth. Because if you don't, they will sell you a bunch of crap and make you believe that it's the right decision that you're making, and it turns out to be the absolute worst. And then you find it out moments later and think to yourself, like, what the hell? So pretty much now, I felt like I just had to get that off my chest. I'm tired of people asking me certain questions. I'm tired of people saying certain things like, are you even applying to jobs? Are you willing to get back into hotels? Is hotel something you want to do? Is this, that, and the third? Because at this point, I'm still trying to figure out who Renee is. I felt like I lost myself the moment I stopped working. Like, you don't know how hard it is to work really hard to the point where all you know is work. If it's not work, it's school, or it's work and school. And then to be out of school now, and all I have is working, and I don't even have that, I lost myself. I felt like I kind of didn't even know who I was. So I'm really just trying to figure out who Renee is. Besides who Renee is, who's the Kool Kydd? Like, who is she? What does she have to offer the world? What is the world not offering her that she is willing to put out there and help those that she can? Because at this point in my life, I need to make these opportunities for myself, these opportunities for others who can't get these opportunities. And I'm gonna bust my ass to get exactly what I deserve. And if hotels is in my future, I really hope that at that point I have accomplished so much more that when it comes time for them to tell me, well, you're not good enough or this is not the property for you, I can literally just laugh and be like, you know what, you're right, it's not, and tell them pretty much about themselves. Because you can't sit down there and say that you're for the people and you're trying to make these experiences for people, and hotel is supposed to be this place where everyone is accepted, and when you're accepted to something, pretty much they take you with all your flaws. And if you're willing to do that for the guests that stay there, you should be willing to do that for the people that you hire. You should definitely give them that opportunity to see what they have to offer, to see their worth ethics, because you may feel like they're not good enough, and then you miss out on the opportunity of having someone great. So I'm going to tell you guys this before I go. You are enough. You are great. You are amazing. Don't let anybody else tell you that you're not. Peace out.